Hey, David, if Trump runs third party, do you think he can win any states? This is a really interesting question because I think the answer is maybe yes. I mean, listen, if you look at a variety of different states and you poll Republicans and you say, how many of you would vote for Trump if he ran again? For the most part, Trump has more than 50% Republican support, I think, in every state. I may be wrong. There may be some state where Trump wouldn't have 50% Republican support. The math gets more complicated when you realize that a Trump Republican nomination in 24 and a Trump third party run in 2024 would differently affect Republicans, independents, and Democrats. So let's take it one by one. If Trump is the Republican nominee, I think that will motivate more Democrats to vote against him than if Trump runs as an independent, because Democrats will see Trump as an independent as less of a threat than Trump as a Republican. Okay. If Trump is the Republican nominee, I think that independents will go more away from Donald Trump. If Trump is an independent or third party candidate, it might actually attract some independents who otherwise would have said, no, this is not for me. I'm going to vote for the Democrat. And then for Republicans, and this is where it gets really hard to predict, if Trump is the Republican nominee in 2024, I think he has almost all Republican support. Every poll is indicative of that. But if Trump runs as an independent, about 60% of Republicans in a poll a couple of months ago said they would follow Trump to a third party or an independent status. I don't know that I believe them. I genuinely am unsure that they would actually follow through with that. So all of these are complicated scenarios. Now, could Trump as a third party candidate win some states? Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's possible that he would. But the real question is, what does it do in terms of getting to 270? And to me, it seems abundantly clear that the math of a Trump third party run points one way and one way only, which is a massive Democratic victory. In particular, if Trump, because remember, scenario one is that you've got a Democratic candidate who wins the normal blue states, and then the Republican nominee and third party Trump split the red states. Okay, that's one scenario. But even without winning a single state, Donald Trump as a third party candidate could absolutely destroy the Republican Party. Because if you think of all those states where Trump won, but by half a point, or Trump won by 1 point, or by 3 points, or even 4, if Trump can pick up even 10, 15% support from Republicans in some of those states, they split the vote. And you end up with a situation like a Democrat having, 48, but having a plurality, and the other 52% being divided by Trump and the Republican nominee. So personally, my view, as stated earlier this week, is if Trump runs against Biden in 24 and Trump's the Republican nominee, I think it's very bad for Joe Biden. And I laid it out in detail earlier this week. If Biden says, I'm only going to be doing one term, vote Kamala, and Kamala is handed the nomination, I think that's very bad for Kamala Harris. I think Trump likely does very well in that scenario. So in that sense, I want Trump to not be involved at all. But Trump as a third party candidate, a viable one who could get, again, 10, 12, 15% of the vote in some of these key states, it gives the election to the Democratic candidate. And I've seen no credible mathematical explanation of why that is not the right assessment. If you have one, I want to hear from you. Is there any scenario where Trump getting 12% nationally as a third party candidate doesn't obviously become just a windfall for the Democratic candidate? Let me know. I want to hear from you. During the pandemic, and even at this point, I try to avoid physically visiting a doctor's office unless I really have to. And that's why I love our sponsor, SteadyMD Primary Care. You take a quiz, you get matched with a licensed primary care physician who's a good fit for you. You have a 1-hour virtual appointment and you start a meaningful relationship with your new doctor. After that, your doctor is available to you anytime by text, phone, and video chat. And unlike other services, this isn't some random doctor on call. Each doctor at SteadyMD has a limited number of patients so they can give you the personal attention you deserve. They can help you with anything your primary care doctor normally would: healthy diet, managing conditions, weight loss, sleep, depression, anxiety. You don't need insurance. It's just $99 a month with absolutely no other fees or copays for visits. Take the free quiz and see which doctor is a perfect fit for you. Go to steadymd.com/Pakman. There's no risk, no long-term commitment. The link is right underneath this video.